It's
The
really
I
beautiful.
is the illusion.
Yes.
Oh, shoot. That's huge.
Yes. I got goosebumps. Brilliant. Literally is just what's happening. And the only person that would have a problem with this would be the mental overlay, would be the
Yeah.
frustrate. So it's just whatever's showing up is what's showing up. So it's we can literally experience it right now, that we can suffer what's happening, or we can just be with what's happening, remain as being, or we can choose separation. We can choose frustration, and the life's not going my way, but actually we can just see that we don't have to pick that up, and that we don't suffer when we don't pick up thoughts of this should be any other way than what it is. Who knows? Maybe it was perfect. Maybe
Yeah.
it was just what we needed, you know.
Right.
So it's almost like you look at life in a different way. You don't look at it in, it's not shaping out for me. It's all shaping out perfectly for me. Even the stuff that the separate self is going to be annoyed with. Because what it's doing is presenting the chance for you to, if we've got any thoughts of separation, they're going to show up. They're going to be presented. So, if we're judging others, we're judging ourselves in reality, because there are no others in reality. Yes, there's an experience of others and, all of that that goes with it. But in reality, if we think they're annoying, we're just annoying ourselves.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Um, if we, I don't know, whatever's showing up, you can literally turn it around, like the Baron Katie thing, where you just turn it around to yourself. It's just that everything is just a mirror. And if you're okay with what's happening, you're not activating this separate self sufferer, you know. And we do inquiry from being. So we don't attempt it in the mind,
Ah,
because
okay.
we're just going to get caught up in it, because this is already in the game of separation. I sort of see it over here: mental, physical, and emotional. So the
Yeah.
mental realm, the physical realm, the push and pull, the squeeze, the contraction, the resistance to what's happening. That's all viscerally felt, and that's just, it's like a warning light, a warning signal that you're entering. Are you sure you want this? You're entering separation. Like some flashing light. You're stepping through the gate.
Yeah.
And if you're in a loop of mental activity, it's like, oh, okay, open the focus. What? Oh, I was just picking up separation. And again, in the emotions, if you've got a very strong emotions, it's just allow them to be there, not resist them, because we're taught you shouldn't have them. Um, and really, when you're not in the mental realm resisting what's happening, you won't really have those strong emotions anyway, because they're just showing up, because it tends to come as a bit of a package, as the
Yeah.
story. I don't want this. This is awful. Why is it happening to me?
Yeah.
It builds and builds, and then becomes
Yeah.
something you feel like you're caught up in and you can't get out. So, but it's only this. So it's all good, because we can't sleepwalk, because if we're suffering, it's telling us we're in separation. So anything that's showing up that's causing the mental, physical, and emotional realm to be alerted, it's actually a good thing. And that's how I saw it when I did the Baron KT. I was just like, okay, but it's not in a way that the separate self thinks, oh, I've got loads to do. Not in that way. It's just in a, okay, that's interesting. What's actually happening? What's actually happening? And then you can just say, well, so for me, I do that opening up, and we'll do it in more detail in a minute. The opening up, the resting back, the dropping down. You won't need to do that forever. Just a way of feeling how we can separate from the mental realm.
Okay.
And that's where we see the truth. Well, there's just this. There's always just this when I look, when I've unplugged, when I'm not experiencing separation. It was only this experiencing separation. So we're never that separate self. It's just an experience this can have. So it's not actually a true position. It's not a true point of view. It's just a limitation on this. That's all it is. So the limitation causes the friction, causes the contraction, because it's not as nice as this, because this is unbound. This is already free, already whole. This is pure potential to create. This one's lack. I need to get something. So I've got to try and manifest it in this world of, you know, duality, you know, have and have not, pleasure, pain, all of that going on. So, you know, when we rest in being, we realize we're already whole and complete. There's nothing to get. There's no exercises to do. But it does seem as if the walk home from experiencing this, a few exercises like this, opening up and resting back and dropping down, as long as you realize you already are it, you're just checking where it is. Oh, it's not gone anywhere. There it is.
Yeah.
And the more you do that, the more you rest in being, the more you realize this can dance. You're just not interested, because this is the truth of your being, and you recognize that this is the misidentification, the place where I thought I was only taking myself to be the end, the limited version. In fact, there's not two versions. It's just this having an experience. It can feel like there's two versions. There's the old me and the new me, and I want to keep getting back to the new me. And you there is actually, in reality, no two positions, but there is an experience of two. Fine. But there's only this one self experiencing. So take this as primary. Don't take this as primary. It's not actually true. It's an experience. All the experiences are true. But it was only ever this. There was no actual person there thinking.
Right.
No person doing. It was only ever this. Unity, consciousness, life, playing all the roles, or God, or whatever your words are. So you're not going to understand this. You're going to feel it and recognize it and know it. So you just want to unplug from that mental realm, because you're not going to get it with the mind. It's not an understanding. It's a knowing, not a belief. It's a direct experience. It's very different. And that's where people get tricked. They'll watch video after video from the mind and try and get it from there, try and work it out. What's he meaning? What's he saying? What's he already in the game? Already a separate self that isn't. So you're just playing from a limited, looking out to a world where I've got to get something because I just need one more thing. And you've got the chance to see you already are it fully. There's nothing to get.
Yeah.
There might be an experience of separation, but you're completely that. I can't allow it. I can't talk in ways that you're not already it, because it's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
There's no use me telling you you've got all this stuff to do.
Yeah. Well, it's just advocating for more separation.
Yes. Anything that we feel like we've got to do is already placing something in the way.
Yeah.
It's just taking you down a cul-de-sac. And then you'll say, hang on a minute, I didn't need any of that, Colette.
Yeah.
There is that, you know, you can talk about this walk home, and it does feel like that. You know, you do things like what I'm saying. The shortcut is to recognize what you're not and fully realize what you are. That's the shortcut. And however that feels good for you to do. And it's for you to recognize it, though. It's not my, I can point. It's for you to recognize it beyond the pointing. You know, when I say you're this space of being, it's to go to the feeling of that, to recognize. When I say, you know, we're just this ocean of being, it's to feel into, can you find that ocean of being within you? You know, the sense of it rather than the thought of it.
Yes. Yes.
See how you're seeing what you are without the mind?
I do, and I've been able to only maintain it for moments at a time. That's
the experience.
Yeah.
So there's an I reporting. I've only been able to experience. It's fine. Not. It's good to get it up, and I can write that down. That's the experience you're having. I've been only able to experience it for moments. Okay.
So how to drop the I?
Yeah. To see it's not real. To see what you've always been. What's always been there is this. And that's just made out of thoughts. It just offers up an invitation to separation. So, and then you have an experience of losing it. So you recognize your true nature, and then there'll be a thought, well, I wonder if I can keep this when the kids get home, whatever the thought is. And you've already picked up, that is a ticket. That is just a thought, just a thought. It's just a thought. So it's to see your thoughts are just thoughts. They're not your thoughts, they're just thoughts. They're not personal thoughts, they're just thoughts. They belong to the separate self-identity that you're not.
But even the thoughts, to function in life, do we not need thoughts?
Well, yes, but everything is automatically happening anyway, I would offer. It's already happening.
So
we have this separate self-identity that's going, I got up, I brushed my teeth, my car, my. So can you see that if this doesn't exist, remember, if this isn't true, it's made of thoughts. They've got no substance to them. It's just thoughts. It's an identity out of thoughts. And they're almost like pieces of paper. They've got nothing to them. They've got no essence. It's a name that was given to a body. And there were stories. So the story is not, where's the story's not here. It's not what you are.
right.
So it's a group of experiences and thoughts around those, and you know, and it can be so, even if you look at that, you know, you'll have an experience and 5 people have the same experience. They've all got different stories about what happened. So it's not even that real because it's a bit flaky. Or, you know, to be able to, you know, you're going in the mind.
I know, but my mind is blown because
Good. I'm here to.
I realize, you just made me see that I is an illusion.
Yes.
The I is the illusion.
Yes.
Oh, shoot. That's huge.
Yes. I got goosebumps. Yeah. Let's stick with that.
Even the simplistic I is a story and an illusion. Yeah. So it is just pure awareness, no identity.
Yeah. So what's here then? If we've seen through this eye, it's just thoughts. What's actually here now?
That's wild.
So it's to stay with it, to fully directly experience the truth of your being right now. What's left? You don't pick up on my thoughts. They'll have to pick it up.
Nothing is left.
No, just this. The most obvious, simple thing in the world, just this. So close we miss it. So obvious we miss it. Yeah, it's that easy, huh? When you see it. That obvious, that normal.
Well, that last tendril was the I that was attached.
It was being believed in. So these statements now, I need to open up my consciousness to understand and embody these teachings. Can you see where that was coming from?
Yeah.
Believing that there was something that needed to open its consciousness, whoever that was.
Right.
I mean, I'm not laughing at it. I'm not laughing at you. It's just
I know
the truth now. Yeah.
Yeah.
To understand and embody these teachings. Who needs to understand? You already is. The teachings are pointing to this, what you already are. That's all they're pointing to. That's it. It's here now.
Right. Life is so crazy because it reinforces the egoic self constantly.
Because the experience is believed to being happening, is because there's an experience, yeah. So this, what you are, this unbound self, can have an experience of separation because it's pure potential to create. So it creates a separate self through thought. It's just a separate self experience. It never becomes a separate self. It's just an experience it can have.
The creation.
So this
You're
can
saying
create an experience of separation. What you are, unbound, can have an experience of being bound. And how it does it is by thought forms. It creates, through thought forms, creates an experience of separation just by identifying with a separate self. And then so there is an experience of separation, but it's only ever this doing it. There's never a separate self. Can you see what I was pointing to? We believe in this separate self, but there isn't a
deeply
self. Yeah,
deeply.
It's
Yeah.
an experience. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. The experience of separation definitely happens, but who? Now, this is an interesting one. Who is experiencing it? Can we find that one? It's experiencing separation.
I got it on another level just now. Because it was always I.
Yeah.
Prior to this moment.
Yeah.
So that's a whole new existence then.
Well, no, it's only ever been this.
It's only ever been this. Yeah. Yeah.
That is like a mental overlay. Can you see how it's an overlay on what's happening?
Yes.
So what's happening is just happening. There's an idea of a separate self it's happening to, and that one doesn't exist.
I know, and it creates so much pain and suffering.
Yes. 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 Who is suffering?
So there's no.
Can we find who would be suffering right here, right now?
Right. And so there's never really any reason to suffer if there is no I.
Well, the suffering, yeah. Well, there won't be any suffering if you realize there's no I. But the suffering is a wake-up call to say who's suffering. Because if you do pick up these residual thoughts later of this identity that's been played out for so long, there's a potential for it still to pick up a thought. But you can quickly see who's suffering. And you can't find anybody. You're like, oh gosh, I was just picking up. So it's going to now be like your radar. Like if you are in being and knowing and just you see everything as what's happening. It's not good or bad. It's just what's happening. Soon as you have a point of view, a resistance, this shouldn't be happening to a me. It's a big warning sign to go, hang on a minute. That separation, what am I doing? Who's suffering? Right. Who thinks it shouldn't be this way? Oh my goodness, there it was. There can be a tendency to say, damn, I picked up separation again, but that's another ticket back in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quite an easy one to pick up. Back in the game, back in the game.
Yeah. I can see how that happens though. Because even from this moment now, I feel it dwindling.
If we don't pay it any attention, it dies. Because it's only through our engagement that the separate self rises up. It's just
right.
It's just an experience. So if you don't pick up, it just dies because the thoughts. You said, well, you need thoughts someday, and they can be there. I'm just not really interested. It's really the sticky I, me, my thoughts. Really, there might be some cognitive activity. I don't know. I don't really pay any attention to anything.
Yeah.
I'm just being. You can see it now, can't you? It's just like, it's just what's happening. I reach for my phone. Who's reaching for the phone? I mean, life.
Right.
The universe is eating. The universe is picking up the phone. Can you see? That's all that's ever been doing it all along.
So, because prior, even letting go of thinking was me the I letting
Was
go
the
of the
I not,
thinking.
yeah, saying, I can't possibly do that. How am I going to live my life? That was the I. It's so innocent, so innocent. I mean, when it came on, I was just like, oh, when you said how am I going to, can you give me some exercises? Could you see if I could have given you exercises? But I mean, let's just chop it off. Let's just kill that. The I will be doing the exercises. Can you see? We don't see through the identification. The I is going to go and do the exercises. The I is going to report back, yes, I felt more in being. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's to see through the identification.
That's how people get stuck in this.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you're so rested now. You're so relaxed. It's like everything's here. You feel really whole. Like everything's just here. It's just what's happening. Neutral.
Yeah. I mean, my mind is wrestling with it because it wants to understand it.
That we don't need to go there. I'm not interested. As soon as you, I can't even say rest in being to you now because you've seen the truth. Because how can you rest in being? It's what you are. As soon as you, it's just language is rubbish now because we're there. We're fully there. I can't walk you home. You're home. You're home. That's the best wording. You're home. You're home.
Oh God, it just takes this complicated life and turns it on its head.
Yeah, another goosebumps. Yeah.
Because even just now, I wanted to understand and rationalize it and talk it through again to make sure I understood it.
Yeah.
And then when you said there's no need to even do that and my mind relaxed, it came back to peace.
The peace is always there. The peace that passes all understanding. So you sort of get that now, don't you? That statement. I don't even know whether it's in the Bible or where it is. But the peace that passes all understanding, because it's not going to be found in the mind. It just is. It's what we are.
Right.
So that's
it's the essence.
Point to it. Yeah. Can you see now? It's a sense. It's what we are. That's how I'm like. So when I say the truth of your being, it's like, it's what we are. It's like a wave of knowing. Whereas if somebody only takes those words and tries to work it out, it's like it's a surface idea of what we are rather than the essence of what we are. The space of being.
Right. It's like trying to describe the way a fragrance smells versus smelling it.
It's just it's like a piece of paper.
Yeah.
And what we are is the entire universe. You feel that? With the entire universe. But not with that ego that would think that's clever and fantastic and special.
Oh God, the ego hurts so bad.
But it's not real.
It's not real.
No. The experience, yeah. The experience feels real and the experience is horrible. It's not real. It's only ever this experience in separation. And it wakes us up because it doesn't feel good. Like, you wouldn't be on the call to me if life was fine. If everything was nice.
Yeah.
If it okay life and life went up a bit and went down a bit, you wouldn't be searching for the truth of your being.
Right.
You'd be like, all right, thanks. When the shit hits the fan, the ego is screaming. The separate self identity is absolutely freaking out because it can't control the situation.
Yeah.
That's how it plays. It's because it feels like it's separate, so it's got to survive in a world, so it's got to control and it's got to seek approval or disapprove, judge everybody else out there. You all need to wake up. You're talking to 8 billion egos that don't exist. I just saw that when I said it. When I said you need to wake up, I literally saw 8 billion egos that don't exist. You know, I'm learning as I'm talking to you. I'm learning about myself. We're learning about ourselves. Life.
Yeah.
Learning about itself. You can see that. There's no separation. It's life talking to life.
It's really incredible.
It is, isn't it?
It really
And
is.
so simple when it's seen. So obvious and so simple. It's all that's ever been here. You can see now that you were given a name and the story was attached to that name. And then we believed in that identity. So we're looking this way. And that's why I'm always saying it's already here. Look this way, look this way, look this way in my videos. Look this way. Don't go that way. That's separation. This is unity. Already here, already whole. Nothing to do. So everybody's journey, I think, is valuable. Whatever they've done, I think, is valuable. Because that's what happened. That's what happened.
Right.
If, you know, my journey now, the things that have happened to me in the 2 years after recognition, you know, just working it all out and realizing this falling asleep and waking up. Who's falling asleep and waking up? And okay, so just picking up thoughts and then that stabilization that we call it stabilization, but we were never going anywhere. You don't realize this until it's pointed out. So then is the, oh my goodness, I don't go anywhere. Well, who would be going anywhere anyway? But that's the experience you have. Mm-hmm. And then there's the experience of recognizing that you've got a choice, that thoughts appear. You don't have to pick them up. Sometimes you fall asleep again and pick them up, but you've recognized it now. And then there's the recognition, who would be picking them up? And where would I be going? So I've done all of that to tell you exactly. It's all perfect because now I can express that to you. We're still, you know, and I was able to just think you might have frozen.
Because there was still an I. Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, what there is there's still this.
Because there was
well, you'll still have thoughts of separation. They'll still dance. It's normal. And I think they dance forever. I don't know. But you know, somebody like, I think Papaji once said that you got to sleep with one eye open for the ego, you know, because that's not, you know, because we're not believing in it, but that's not, you know, you can have an experience of it. Even if you're not believing in it, because you're like, hang on a minute, what is that? Oh, I know what that is. So don't, it's not real, but it can be experienced. It's just one life experiencing. Just one. That's unity. There's only one thing here. You feel it, not get it. It's a feeling. There's only one thing. There's only one experience. There's apparently lots of experiencers, but in reality, there's one experience. Can you see that? It's just life experiencing. One life experiencing everything.
Yeah.
Absolutely everything. Stunning because it is very simple. It's really
easy to complicate. It's easy to complicate.
The mind wants to complicate it.
Yeah.
But the mind really has to be just taken out the whole thing. So that's what I'm doing when I'm doing the dropping down. I'm just severing the
cut the head. Well, I need to sit on the awareness of.
You'll get used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll get used to seeing whatever's playing out. If you have any thoughts of separation, then it's just for you to see where you're still believing you're separate. It's not true.
Mm-hmm.
It's just they're a gift to show you where you're still believing you're separate. It's that turning away, seeing that whatever's playing out is a gift, is showing you, oh, it's a chance to see where I'm separate. They're literally gifting you the chance to see where you're separate, rather than they're doing this to me. Oh, I can't bear them. That's all like you've picked up separation. So whatever's happening, if there's a resistance to it, it's just a belief in separation. But it'll be interesting if you go on to do this.
Yeah, I think I'm going to create a channel,
Mhm.
docu documenting my journey
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
non-duality.
definitely. I'll just take the recording off.